Hey there, friends! If you're passionate about history and want to dive deeper into the wonders of ancient Kemet, you're in the right place. Stick with us by subscribing, liking, and dropping your thoughts in the comments. Your support really helps us keep sharing these stories, so don't miss out on future videos. They finally found ancient Egyptian DNA. A groundbreaking discovery. The history of ancient Kemet has fascinated people for generations. It's hard to ignore the obsession surrounding this civilization. Because it's considered one of the greatest civilizations in human history, many have been deeply interested in the genetic origins of its people. And now, we've finally gotten part of the answer. Today, I want to talk about one of the most important breakthroughs in studying ancient Kemet. Scientists have now fully sequenced the genome of a man who lived more than 4,500 years ago, during the time of the Old Kingdom, when the pyramids were being built.
What's the latest from the African world?
Just a note. I'll refer to the civilization as Kemet, which is its original name. I'll sometimes use the word Egypt when talking about the modern country or referencing academic sources. Just keep that in mind. A recent study published in Nature marks a historic moment for the first time ever. Scientists have recovered a near-complete genome of a man from ancient Kemet. He lived during the Old Kingdom, the era of the Great Pyramids. His remains were found buried in a sealed pottery jar in what is now northern Egypt. Thanks to this unique burial, his DNA was incredibly well preserved.
Researchers discovered that this man's ancestry was roughly 80% from North Africa's Neolithic populations, and about 20% from the Eastern Fertile Crescent, meaning ancient Mesopotamia. In short, people from outside Africa had migrated and mixed with North African communities. That's not surprising to those who've studied ancient Kemet for a while. The northern parts of Kemet were part of vast trade and migration networks that stretched across thousands of miles. Based on their analysis, the man likely had dark skin, dark brown eyes, and wavy to curly hair.
While this discovery is definitely exciting, it also highlights a major gap in our understanding of ancient Kemet. Almost all the genetic data we have comes from northern or central Egypt, areas that were historically more exposed to outside influences.
That's a big deal, because DNA from northern Kemet doesn't reflect the full picture of ancient Kemet's people. These Africans didn't all come from one background. That's a crucial point that needs to be made clear.
Many experts agree that the roots of Kemetic culture came from what's known in academic sources as Upper Egypt and Northern Sudan. A lot of Egyptologists have backed this up. Just so you know, Upper Egypt is actually the southern part of modern Egypt. For example, the renowned Egyptologist Toby Wilkinson points out in all his work that Pharaonic culture originated in Upper Egypt.
Let's look at what some other scholars say. In the late 4th millennium BCE, the Naqada culture developed in Upper Egypt. It was the most advanced pre-dynastic culture in North Africa and laid the groundwork for the formation of the Egyptian state. Its roots go back to the rule of King Narmer, a leader from Upper Egypt who is believed to have conquered Lower Egypt and unified the two regions, becoming the first pharaoh of ancient Egypt.
The foundations of Pharaonic civilization were laid during the Naqada period, around 4000 to 3200 BCE. Naqada, the archaeological site tied to this culture, is located in Upper Egypt, just under 20 miles north of Luxor. A lot of researchers have pointed out that Upper Egypt, or Southern Egypt, was really the driving force behind Kemetic civilization. And this isn't just speculation, it's backed by archaeological evidence.
There's no doubt that the core of Kemetic civilization began in the south, including areas of northern Sudan. This is where the first kings came from, where the oldest hieroglyphic writings were carved, and where the concept of divine kingship first appeared.
Scholar Christopher Ehret dives deep into these early aspects of Pharaonic civilization, explaining that, many of them actually trace back to northern Sudan or Lower Nubia. One key feature of classical Egyptian political culture, divine kingship, has clear connections to southern traditions. For example, early leaders were often buried with their servants, a ritual that really showed power and, divine status. This practice actually came from Sudanese customs and laid the groundwork for Egyptian royal ideology.
This lack of southern DNA data is honestly well known and pretty unfortunate. Just imagine what we could learn from the very people who were the foundation of Kemetic civilization. Getting high-quality genome samples from southern Egypt or Upper Egypt isn't just some academic exercise, it's essential.
It's definitely amazing to finally have a genome from the Old Kingdom, but we also have to be realistic about the influence the Middle East had on northern Kemet. The Delta region in the north is basically the only land bridge between Africa and the Middle East, so it makes sense that ancient non-African groups came through there and mixed with locals. And the reverse is true too. People from Africa also moved outward.
But DNA from southern Egypt is more likely to preserve older, more indigenous traits. At the same time, Upper Egypt had contact with regions further north and east, so there was still a healthy exchange of knowledge and technology. That's why it's important to compare samples from both regions.
Still, this discovery is something to be proud of, but we should remember that to truly understand the soul of Kemetic culture, we need to focus on what academic texts call Upper Egypt, the south. That's where we'll find the real genetic legacy of the first kings, the master craftsmen, and the priests who shaped this great African civilization. Just imagine the possibilities if scientists could recover high-coverage genomes from southern Egypt. The results would be nothing short of groundbreaking. So let's celebrate this discovery, but also remember what it really tells us. The story of ancient Kemet isn't finished yet. Its most important chapters might still be buried in the sands of the south. Finally, I just want to thank you all for listening and, encourage you to follow the channel and watch future videos. Please subscribe, like,